lovely mamas. I hope you're well. I've been thinking about you all along. So today we're going to do a little practice, a mini practice, and the theme of our practice is going to be balance. We're just coming out of a new moon, and which can create a lot of kind of feelings in us of this time for renewal, of letting go and of moving forward. And so I feel that balance is a good theme, just to kind of find that, that masculine and that feminine inside. So before we start our practice, I'm going to invite you to maybe go grab a towel or a blanket. If you've got something that resembles a block or two, then great. And if you've got a bolster or a cushion, as I have behind me, then please go grab that too. And if you've got an oil, then please go grab your oil, and then we're going to start. So let's sit nice and tall. Maybe sit onto your blanket or to your cushion if your cushion is firm. And welcome to my living room. I've got 3 dogs who will be jumping up and down throughout this practice today. So I will try to keep it as calm as I can with the dog energy. So let's take a drop of oil and let's put a drop on our hands. If you don't have an oil, and just imagine a lovely smell that you like, and let's rub our hands together. Let's bring our hands to our face. Nice big inhale and exhale. And bringing your hands down to your heart. And just repeat the mantra to yourself: I am balanced. I am balanced. I am balanced. And dropping your shoulders away from your ears, sitting nice and tall in the spine. Let's place our right hand on our heart and our left hand onto our baby. And soften your jaw, close your eyes, and start to connect with your breath. And feeling your breath first in your chest, in your heart space. Just being aware of where your breath is traveling. Noticing the quality of your breath. Does your breath feel smooth? Does it feel slightly jutted or unsteady? And start to feel your breath under your left hand. And just being aware of this sensation of breathing, of being breathed by a force much higher than ourselves. Taking a deep inhalation, connecting to your heart space, and as you exhale, feeling the breath travel down into your baby. And as you inhale, feeling that breath come from your baby back to your heart. And again, love from your heart to your baby as you exhale. And love from your baby to you as you inhale. 3 more like this. And allowing your breath to guide you, and all of your cells to expand with the life force. Giving your baby this truly beautiful gift of breath, of yoga today. Final time. We're going to bring our hands together at our heart today. We're going to open our practice with an Om. clearing the throat chakra, opening the heart. And let's flutter our eyes open. Bring your hands down to your thighs. And let's start to find some movement in the neck, just from side to side. And then let's start to find some movement in the shoulders, releasing any tension in the shoulders. And taking your hands up to the sky, stretch up. Interlace your hands behind your head and let your elbows drop down. Inhale and let them drop. Feel that stretch in the back of the neck. And then exhale, expand the heart as you draw the elbows back. And again. Open, expand, exhale, release that tension in the back of the neck. Final time. Inhale, take your hands up to the sky. Big stretch up into the fingers. Give the fingers a little wiggle. And then bring your hands down to your thighs and start to find some movement. And really just noticing any little areas that may feel stiff. Noticing the right side and the left side. And in yoga, we believe that the right side is the masculine, Shiva, the dominant side, and the left side is Parvati, the female side. And these two, divine masculine and divine feminine, exist in perfect harmony. And often as we practice yoga, just noticing the difference of our left and our right side. So today I'm going to invite that balanced action and that observation of the two sides of your body working as one in harmony. And maybe coming a little bit deeper, drawing your elbows out to the side. Beautiful. Depending on where you are in this journey, you may want to come a little bit more forward. Beautiful. Change direction. Back to the center. You can stay seated on your blanket. And we're going to take our legs out wide. And just sit comfortably and just draw the toes back and just take a little bit of time. You can't see my feet, but just to move into the feet. So just moving them from side to side. And then just sitting comfortable here, we're going to interlace the fingers and find some circles. Nice big circles. And releasing in the back, in the hips. And other side, big circles. Beautiful. And keep trying to draw those toes back so we open up the hamstrings. Change direction. Really feeling that space in the spine. Always in pregnancy yoga, connecting into how this feels for you. This is your practice, your time, listening to your body. And then come back to the center. Let's just bring our hands just next to us or behind us and just feel that little rebound in the spine as we just open the heart very gently here. And draw the toes back, spread the toes. Feeling really tall and steady and balanced. Beautiful. And then bringing your palms together. If you need to adjust your feet in any way, then do. And then we're going to take our hands and extend our hands forward like this. And then exhale, we find our little cactus arms. Again, this is nice for the shoulders and the heart. Inhale. And exhale, opening the chest. Beautiful. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Again, just noticing how this feels on your hips. You need to modify, then do. Gorgeous. One more. Beautiful. Taking your hands up, bringing the palms together. Exhale, bringing your hands down to your heart. Interlace your hands behind you. Bring the fingers together and draw the knuckles down towards the earth and draw the shoulders down the back, okay? And always check in with how this is feeling for you. And this may be where you want to stay. If you need to adjust the legs, you can. And then just bring the hands up a little bit here, so you're just squeezing the shoulder blades towards each other. And then just come forward just a tiny little bit here, just to feel that stretch. Okay, and then just lift maybe the hands a little bit more, see if you can release any tension. Beautiful, and then maybe squeeze a little bit more. And maybe just find a little bit of movement here. Tiny little bit of movement from side to side. Just releasing. And then release your hands. Take your hands up to the sky. Interlace your fingers and push your hands away. Stretch up. And stretch over to the right side. Getting nice and long in the side body. And pushing the hands away towards the ceiling. Gorgeous. Come back to the center. Inhale, stretch up. And exhale over to the left side. And sometimes in pregnancy, you can get a little bit tight around the ribs. So just stretching feels good and elongates the spine. Bringing your hands down to your heart. Beautiful. And then let's bring our right foot in. I'm going to shuffle back a little bit so you can see me. It's not easy to get the camera angles right. So bringing the right heel in towards the groin and extending the left leg and adjusting. So I'm still sitting on my little blanket at the moment just to give a little bit of elevation for the hips. It's nice for either be sitting on a blanket or something just to elevate the hips, especially in pregnancy. Okay, so we're going to slide our left hand down the leg. And depending on how you're feeling, you may modify and just hold on to the leg and just do a small movement. Okay, so we're going to slide the left hand down the leg, not really placing the hand on the knee, but either placing it on the thigh or on the on the shin. And then you're going to bring your left arm up and over. Beautiful here, lovely. And then exhale. And this practice, is nice and easy, nice and gentle. Beautiful. So we exhale as we come over the leg. Beautiful, lovely. And then we inhale. I'm really trying to extend the breath. So we've got a really nice long breath. Allow there to be a little pause as well, not rushing into it. Floating with your breath. And you may feel like you want to come a little bit deeper. So if you do want to come a little bit deeper, then on the next one, we're going to plant our right hand down and then we're going to sweep the left hand up. Okay, so this can be a small movement, just halfway, or you can come all the way up. And then exhale with your breath, listening to the body. Three more like this. Connecting to the breath. And slowly release. Bring your hand down to the floor. Changing sides. And just noticing this hamstring. How does it feel in relation? Your right hamstring, the more active side, the masculine, the Shiva. Get comfortable, just adjust your seat bones. And slide your right hand down the leg. Keeping the left side body nice and open. Inhale up and over. Exhale over. Inhale inhaling here and exhaling over the leg. Inhaling and exhaling. Beautiful. Final one. Grounded, and you can stay here. On the next one, start to lift up your hips, sliding the arm up and over, and exhale. And again, inhale, exhale. Final one. Beautiful, nice and long, floating in space, and exhale, coming down, and releasing your hand. Beautiful. So let's come onto all fours, and take our hands in alignment to our elbows, take our hands nice and wide, and make sure all of the palm is really pressing down onto the earth, and your knees are in alignment to your hips. And you can either be on the fronts of your feet or keep your toes tucked, and know that you can use the blanket for support if you need it. So we're going to inhale, look ahead, and exhale, arch towards the spine. And inhale, look ahead, and exhale, arching in the spine. So if you're post 35 weeks of pregnancy, 36, then don't be arching, and if your baby's in optimum position, then don't be arching too much. Keep a little straightness in the spine. So you want to keep baby in that lovely position if baby's head is engaged. Beautiful. And then from here, start to find a little movement from side to side, okay? So let's just find a little movement from side to side. Gorgeous. And I'm going to invite you to close your eyes and really feel into the right and the left side of the body. And really notice any little discomforts, anything that you may be feeling, and try and observe whether they're both sides of the body, whether you're feeling one side more than the other. And just observe, scan the body as you're moving in your shoulders. And I would urge you to every day just do this little bit of movement, even if it's only for a few minutes. And let's find our way to our first downward facing dog. So let's take the knees as wide as the mat, the feet together. And bring your hands down and come into a comfortable spot as you bring your head down onto the floor. And let's make our way up to all fours. And taking your hands under your shoulders, fingers nice and wide, and your knees in alignment to your hips. We're going to extend the right leg and the left arm. And I want you to see how this feels. If it feels like it's too much, then just bring the left hand down so that you're just working with the leg today. Take an inhale here, and then let's take an exhale. Draw the elbow towards the knee. We don't have to come too close. Just find that little movement and see how this is feeling for your body. Now you can drop the hand at any time. Exhale. And find that little squeeze in the pelvic floor muscles as we're moving. One more. Extend. Hold here. And draw baby back towards your spine. Place your left hand down and find an opening in that right hip. And place the right foot down on the right side of the body. Push into the left hand. Inhale, take the right arm up. Open the heart. to receive. Exhale, hand comes through. And again, inhale up. Exhale through. And again, inhale up. Exhale through. Final time, inhale, holding here. See if you can draw that shoulder back a bit more. And planting your hand down to the floor, beautiful. Sliding the foot back round. Taking a little circle out here, aligning your position. Pushing down into the right hand. Extending the left leg. And finding that balance feeling. And it may be here that you're not feeling balanced and you want to drop down with the hands. So wherever you are, listen to that. Adjust your hands. Inhale, exhale in. Inhale, exhale in. Inhale, exhale in. I'm on a funny tile. Exhale in. And one more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale in. Plant your hand down. And then start to find some movement in the hip. And plant the left foot down on the side of the body, placing all of the foot down. Maybe readjust your hands a little bit. Push down into the right hand. Inhale up on the left side. And through. Inhale on the left side. Open the heart. Exhale through. And again, inhale, opening. Exhale through. And again, final one. Let's just hold here. Place your hand down onto the floor. And come back to all fours again. Just find a little release here in the hips, a little circling, a little opening of the body. And knowing that as we move into the standing poses, you can take all fours, take child's pose at any time, and take as many rests as you need today. Okay. So fingers nice and wide, pushing down into the fleshy parts of the hands, and really connecting the palms to the mat. Tuck your toes, and start to lift your hips up to the sky. And find a little softness in the knees and a little movement from side to side as you open the body, listening. Beautiful. And having that blanket handy as well for when you need it throughout the practice. And we're going to start to walk our feet up to the front of the mat, taking as much width as you need, taking them nice and wide so there's space for baby, and bending the knees. And take your hands onto your elbows and just have a little swing out here. And let the head go, not holding any tension in the head, in the neck, swinging from side to side. Let the hands drop down. Feel grounded in the feet as we slowly start to come up. Coming all the way up to standing. Bring your hands together at your heart. Inhale, take your hands up to the sky. Exhale, bend and soften the knees as you fold forward, releasing your hands down to the earth. Inhale all the way up. And bending and softening the knees as you come forward. Inhale all the way up. And again, just feeling that softness in the body, bending the knees as much as you need, taking the feet as wide as you need to find that space. Beautiful. And again, two more. Just bring your hands together at heart. And then step the feet nice and wide. And turning the feet out towards the side slightly. Sliding your hands down towards your thighs. Allow your shoulders to come up to your ears. And feeling that little stretch from side to side. So we move the shoulders down towards the thighs. Feeling that lovely release in the back of the shoulders and that opening in the inner thighs. Beautiful. 2 more like this. And let's come all the way back up to center. Bring the hands together. Come down again, adjusting the feet if you need to. And let's take our hands forward and then open up our arms like angel wings, and then give yourselves a hug as we straighten into the legs. And then we're going to inhale, open, bend the knees. Exhale, coming up, straightening the knees, giving yourself a hug, some love, some self-love. 2 more, inhale. Exhale. Final one, inhale, expanding, opening to grace. Exhale, self-love. Releasing your hand, bring your hands onto your hips. Heel to toe and your feet in a little bit. And let's find some movement in the hips. Softness of the knees. Lovely, beautiful. Maybe bending a little bit more depending on how this is feeling for your low back. And again, I'm going to draw your attention to the idea of balanced action, the left and the right side. How's your left side feeling? And moving, dancing, connecting, bringing your hands onto your baby as you connect and move. Let's move into our right leg and our left leg, and our right leg and our left leg. Every day, just putting some music on, finding that connection and moving. Beautiful, coming back to the center, taking your hands all the way up to the sky, and bringing your hands down to your heart. Let's take the feet a little bit wider. And maybe you may want to get your block if you've got one, or something that's a similar shape to a block, and just plant it down, either on a flat edge or on a high edge, kind of in alignment to the face. Okay, so we're going to soften the knees as we come down, and just using the legs as a little bit of support here. And we're going to bring our hands down to our block, and turn the feet around so they're parallel to the outside edge of the mat, okay? So you may want to bring the block a little bit lower, you may want to stay high, you may want to use 2 blocks. And then allow the head to release down a little bit here. Again, if you want to adjust the position, you know, some of you may want to not use a block at all, that's fine, whatever feels best for you and your body today. Just feel nice and grounded, no pushing, no forcing. And then we're going to take our right hand, kind of like over our left, so that our hands are in alignment to our face. And then stretch up on the right side, again, releasing into the shoulders. And then bringing the hands down, switching the hands, so the right hand goes underneath, the left is on top. And then opening. If this feels like it's too much, then use the block. Just opening up the arms, the top of the back. Lubricating the spine. 2 more. And then resting here. If you need to come up, then softening the knees and coming all the way up. If you're okay in this inversion, we're going to start moving the knees from side to side, okay? So know that you can take the block, you need to come a little bit higher. And moving into the knees from side to side. Just releasing any tension in the hips and the low back. Moving nice and gently from side to side. 2 more. And coming back to the center, hanging out here. Softening the knees, maybe turning the toes out so you're a little bit more stable. Bringing your hands onto your thighs. And coming all the way up. Bring your hands to your heart. Just take a couple of breaths here. Let's take our hands up towards the sky, interlace the fingers and push the ceiling away. And stretch over to the right side, side body long. Back to the centre. Stretch up. And left side. Coming back to the centre, bringing your hands down towards your heart. Interlace your hands behind you. Squeeze the shoulders together. Draw the shoulder heads back. Soften the knees and either just stay here or come forward a little bit. And maybe find a little bit of movement from side to side. Okay. And then coming all the way up. Releasing your arms, interlacing them in front of you. Turning your palms so your palms are away and looking down towards your baby. Feeling that stretch in the back, the upper back. And then final time, inhale, stretch up, get nice and long. Bring your hands down to your heart. We're going to find some squats here. So, if you want a little bit of support, then you can use a bolster to come into some squats today. So as we come down, you can rest on the bolster. Alternatively, you could use your blocks. So if you've got a block, then you could come down onto the block. Or you could use the wall and just use that today. Or just do half squats. So you can lean into the wall, not easy for me, and then just come down into a half squat, okay? So we'll do a couple of half squats to start, and then we'll go all the way down, depending on how you're feeling in your legs and your knees, okay? So feet slightly turned out. You can use the support, if you feel like you need the support of your legs as we come down, then do. You can use that support as we come down. So we're going to inhale, take our hands up to the sky, stretch up. Exhale, bring your hands down through your heart. Slide your hands down your legs, and let's come into a couple of little half squats. And just see how this is feeling for the body. If you're using the wall, then use that wall to lean into. So squats really prepare the body for birth. But again, at certain times, they may feel like they're too much. So you can just take half squats or leave the squats out, come into child's pose. One more half squat, all the way up, inhale. Exhale, use the wall if you're using the wall, and come down and just lean into the wall. It's a beautiful place to stay, just here. And again, inhale up. Exhale, bring your hands down through your heart. Either stay with the half squats or just have a little rest. Or come all the way down into full Malasana, Hindi squat, knowing that you can take some support if you need. Either keep the hands on the floor or bring the hands together. One more breath here. Bring your hands to the floor. Push the earth away. Use the legs to support, coming all the way up. Checking in with your body, how you're feeling. And again, inhale up. And exhale, bring your hands down to your heart. Use your legs to support and slowly, slowly coming all the way down. And if you need some support on the feet, then you can roll up a towel and put it under your heels. We really want the heels to be connected, all of the feet to be connected. And then bring your hands together. I am balanced. I am balanced. And bring your hands down to the floor. Push the earth away and walk your hands up your legs. Beautiful. And step to the front of your mat. And we're going to step the right leg back, the left leg forward, so the hips are parallel. And we're going to interlace the hands. Actually, we're going to touch, so a couple of options here. You can either bring your hands onto your elbows and keep them here, or you can bring your hands into reverse prayer, depending on how this feels for your shoulders, okay? So we're going to really root down into the feet, so the feet feel nice and grounded and extend so they're nice and long in the spine. And we want, as we go forward, we want the left hip to stay level and even come back a little bit, so the hips stay really level. So we're feeling this in the left hamstring. Okay, so let's inhale, extend. And then exhale, fold forward. And find that comfortable place. And then from there, root down into your feet and see if you can draw that left hip back, even in your mind's eye back a little bit. And really find that level quality of the hips. And you want to feel that lovely stretch in the left hamstring. Beautiful, then coming all the way up. Release your hands, have a little shake out of the hands. And then we're going to take our block, place the block on the outside edge of the left foot and step the foot back a little bit. So the back foot is at a 90-degree angle and step that foot back a little tiny bit here, okay? And then bring your hands on your hips and turn your hips so your right hip is just coming down a little bit so there's some space for baby, okay? Then we're going to slide our left hand down the leg and the hand might come onto the thigh or onto the shin, or you may want to use the block and bring the block back towards the shin, okay? And listen to your body and feel nice and easy as you go in. And then when you get to that point where you feel like you can open, we're going to start to open the body. So if you're feeling a little bit tight, then maybe staying a little bit higher. Try not to rest onto the knee, okay? So you choose above the knee, below the knee, or using the block. And if you want to come a little bit deeper, then you can bring the hand over the head, but just see how this is feeling in your hip. Okay, and if you've got shoulder issues, then just keeping this arm down in your Trikonasana. 2 more breaths. This is a great, great pose to release any lower back niggles, opening up the hips. And then slowly coming up. So bring your right hand to your hip. Use the leg to come up nice and slowly. Okay, then we're going to step forward. Let's have a little shake out the body. Now bring your feet level, mountain pose, Tadasana. And then bring the right foot back. Okay, so we're not going to go quite so wide at the start. Okay, so that's about the distance with the hips facing forward. And feeling nice and grounded in your feet. So your back foot is just slightly turned in, not quite a 90-degree angle yet. And then bring your hands onto your elbows. And check with how this is feeling. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, then bring your hands into reverse prayer where the palms are pushing. And lengthen out of the spine. And then exhale, folding forward. And just finding that place where it feels comfortable for you to stay. And then see if you can just draw that right hip socket back a little tiny bit. You wouldn't even see it, but you just feel it, and you just get that little bit more of a stretch into the right hamstring. The feet are doing quite a lot of work here, just really connecting into the energy of the feet, feeling grounded and balanced. Beautiful, coming all the way up. And release your hands. Take your block, place your block on the outside edge of the right foot and step the right foot a little bit wider and turn the foot in a little bit more so it's at a 90-degree angle. And again, we're going to place our hands on the hips to go in. Bring the hips slightly forward so that as we go in, there's a lot of space for baby, and then start to slide the hand down the leg, avoiding the knee, and maybe bringing the block back. And then when you feel grounded in your lower body, then start to open up. And again, if it does feel like it's too much, then just release and take the hand up to the leg. And if you feel like you want to go a little bit deeper, then by all means do. breaths. If you feel like you're holding the breath, then release out. And you can even bring the arm down if it's too much. Move into your feet and let's rise all the way up. Beautiful. Step towards the front of your mat. Have a little shake off. Feet slightly wider than hip distance. Inhale, take your hands up to the sky. Exhale, soften the knees, bend the knees, bring your hands down to the floor. And come all the way back. Take your knees nice and wide. And let's find our way into a child's pose. Exhale, come down to all fours. And let's find some movement here from side to side, looking good. So find a little bit of hip opening here. We're going to inhale, extend the right leg away. And exhale, we're going to slide the right foot through and find our pigeon pose. Okay, so if this feels like it's too much, then the other option is to bend the back knee and come round into this space here, which you can't see me very well, so I'm going to show you. So to come into this space here and bend the back leg. Okay, so it's still a deep opening, but not quite as deep as the full pose. Okay, so choose your option, and depending on size of baby, it may feel good for you just to stay here, and it may feel good just to stay for a moment. But choose your option. If you'd rather take child's pose, then please do. Okay, so coming in, and either coming into the full pose, and maybe you want to support here by taking a little block or a little cushion underneath you, and feel into the knee. Maybe keep the back toe tucked, and choose your option here. Okay, so we're going to very gently release. And if you've got a bolster, then it does feel good to come onto a bolster and just allow the head to release here. But really listening to your body today. And again, feeling into your hips. Often we have one that maybe feels a little bit different. So just observing that and noticing that in your body. Two more breaths. Slowly coming all the way up, just finding a little rocking motion. Coming back to all fours and finding a little wiggle of the hips here. And then other side. Again, taking whatever props you need, either a cushion or a bolster or a towel, maybe placing a rolled up towel under the hips. And see if this feels right. If it doesn't, then bend that back knee and just come around a little bit to here. It's still a deep opening, okay? Listening to your body, taking some support, whatever support you need. And if you do have a bolster or a cushion and you want to come down onto it, it feels good under the forearms to just release. If this feels tweaky in any way, come into child's pose. Final 2 breaths here. And slowly coming up, readjusting your body. And you're finding a little rocking. Coming to all fours. And just finding that little movement from side to side. Taking the knees nice and wide, sitting back. And if you have a bolster, it's actually lovely to put your head onto a bolster as we come into child's pose. Close the eyes, let the hips drop down. And if your head is on a bolster, And you're going to remember to change sides so that you're even on the neck. And something that does actually feel really good is if you do have a bolster, you can put a block under it, depending on where you are in your journey and how many weeks pregnant you are, but it does feel really good to create some support and find a supported child's pose, and you can actually, you know, take the blocks a little bit higher and find some support. And then slowly, slowly we're going to come up. Okay, so come into seated on your blanket or your towel. We're going to come into a breathing exercise, pranayama, and this is a really great pranayama for bringing balance onto the left side of the body, the right and the left side. So we're going to take our left hand and bring our forefinger and our thumb together, and we're going to take the index finger and the middle finger down on the right hand. So we've got like these two little prongs here, and I like to wrap the little finger around. Okay, so you've got these two prongs. Okay, so we're going to push down the right nostril and then inhale through the left side, and I'll talk you through it. Okay, so we inhale, push down the right nostril, inhale on the left side, close both nostrils, release the right side, inhale right side, close the nostrils, exhale left side, inhale left side, close the nostrils, exhale right side, inhale right side, close the nostrils, exhale left side, inhale left side, close the nostrils, exhale right side. 3 more. Inhale right side, close the nostrils, exhale left side, inhale left side, close the nostrils, exhale right side. Place your right hand down, so both fingers are in Chin Mudra, with the thumb and the forefinger touching, index finger. And just witness your breath here, your left and your right channel. Imagining that you're still doing that breathing exercise in your mind's eye. I am balanced. I am balanced. So I'm going to invite you to come into Shavasana now. I'm going to stay in with you for a few breaths, but if you want to pause me and take a nice long Shavasana, then I do recommend it. Maybe take an eye bag for your eyes. So I'm just going to come in with you for a few breaths. And if you do have a bolster, you know, and you want to block the bolster up behind you like this, and if you are fortunate enough to have one, then it's really nice to lie on it, place some cushions for your knees, and come into Baddha Konasana. So, you know, this one where we put some cushions under the knees and we lay and relax here if you have got a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, then maybe you want to lie onto your side. And for those of you that are comfortable lying on your back still, then you can lie on your back. But just get a nice comfortable, if you've got a pregnancy pillow, maybe go and get that and get nice and squidgy and nice and comfortable. Okay, so I'm just going to stay in with you for 5 breaths. Really important in this time to give yourself some space to nourish. relaxing your feet, relaxing your feet. Your feet are relaxed. Relaxing your shins, relaxing your shins. Your shins are relaxed. Relaxing your thighs, relaxing your thighs. Your thighs are relaxed. Relaxing your spine, relaxing your spine. Your spine is relaxed. Relaxing your shoulders and your arms. Relaxing your shoulders and your arms. Your shoulders and your arms are relaxed. Relaxing your face, your jaw, your mouth, your tongue. Your whole body is relaxed. And please pause me so that you can take Shavasana. And so we'll finish our practice today. Thank you for being with me. So we're going to finish our practice today with a connection to baby. So placing your right hand on your heart and your left hand on your baby. Let's just take a few moments here to be grateful. I am balanced. Feeling that connection to this little miracle that is growing inside of you. And feeling the joy that you're going to feel when you see your baby's face. And let's join our hands together and close our practice with an Om today. Om.